Just another average Coastal Division program. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, breaking down the game we love. We are in the midst of our schedule rankings. This is my favorite off-season project, is ranking the schedules. We've made it all the way up to an even, nice little nifty number 50 in Virginia Tech. I made the comment off the top about the Hokies just being a middling, just regular Pitt, Georgia Tech, Duke, Virginia, marginal program in the Coastal Division. Well, that's what it's become just in the last couple of years under Justin Fuente. We will see what the Hokies have in store in 2019. Before we break down the schedule, we remind you that you can build the channel, help us here in our community by grabbing the Amazon link that you see in the description section below and do your Amazon shopping using that link. It doesn't cost you an extra penny. Just do your regular shopping. Enter Amazon using that link. And, of course, subscribe. If you love college football, I'm not going to blast you for being ignorant or anything else for not subscribing. I'll just say that you haven't gotten around to it yet. You're procrastinating possibly. Let's get it done right now. So please subscribe. We set you up for the 2019 season like nobody else. We're going to have position breakdowns on just about every team in the Power 5, top 10 lists, top 5 lists, just everything conceivable. Just check out the videos. All right. Also, we're on Patreon, so our college football community, the voice of college football community, please join us on Patreon. Sign up there for an exclusive live stream, at least that at this point, each and every week, where I react sometimes calmly, sometimes a bit sarcastically, and sometimes a bit emotionally. I shed a few tears. I've got my Kleenex right here in responding to viewer comments. Virginia Tech. Yeah, I made the comment off the top that they're just a marginal program now, coming off 6-7. The year before that, they lost 5 games. They just are not the Virginia Tech program that Frank Beamer built. We'll see what Justin Fuente can do after leading them to an ACC championship game, and I thought it was a great hire at the time. Virginia Tech's non-conference schedule is easy. With the dates against the likes of Rhode Island, Old Dominion. Well, we know what happened last year. Furman, and of course they've got the date against Notre Dame, the quasi kind of farce of an ACC member. All right. Virginia Tech opens the season August 31st at Boston College. That somehow game needs to be played each and every year, and it's one of the big fallacies, again, with conference scheduling, that they assign non-division opponents to be rivals, and you get matchups every year like Boston College and Virginia Tech. They should not be playing. I've outlined how it can be built otherwise and still maintain the rivalries that need to be played, like North Carolina State, and Miami and Florida State, and do away with these. This is just not necessary. Virginia Tech and Boston College playing every year. But the Hokies go to BC August 31st in week 1, so a fairly key ACC matchup right out of the gate. Then it's Old Dominion and Furman, September 7th and 14th, a bye week before a key back-to-back affair for Virginia Tech if they are to contend in the Coastal Division. They've got a Duke on a Friday night. Love the Friday night games. September 27th against Duke at home. Then they travel to Miami the next week, October 5th. Then it's Rhode Island, North Carolina, bye week. The Notre Dame game, as we mentioned, November 2nd in South Bend. And then a pretty difficult stretch that includes that game against the Irish. Wake Forest at Georgia Tech, Pitt at Virginia. And, of course, the Hokies have not lost to the Cavaliers in forever. I believe the year is 2003. 15 consecutive wins, maybe 16 against Virginia. They should have lost the game last year, but they pulled it out. And Virginia turned out to be the better team overall, with 8 wins compared to 6 in a bowl victory. But Virginia Tech still has that one over the Hokies. We'll see if they can maintain this streak. It's got to end at some point. At Virginia to close the season November 29th, and that sounds like a Friday night as well. A lot of Friday games in the ACC this year. So Virginia Tech with the 7th most difficult schedule in the ACC. It's number 50 in college football. And again, the big analysis here that you got to keep in mind is when ranking teams that play division play and conference play, who do they play in the other division? And for Virginia Tech, it's a fairly light touch. There's no Florida State, although they ripped the Noles at Tallahassee 24-3 last year. There's no Clemson. Louisville's no good now. The non-division games this year, again, the August 31st date at Boston College, and then Wake Forest later in the season, November 9th. All right, we've got Virginia Tech slated this year. At this point, my projection on Virginia Tech is 7-5 as they get back to postseason play, 4-4 in the ACC. Let us know what you think about the Hokies. How are they going to do in 2019? What about my schedule ranking? Would love to hear from you right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. And, of course, subscribe.